Welcome to the NMCRL Web, the #1 catalog for sourcing defense items, and to our series of videos to help you get started. Thank you for using the NMCRL Web, and by that, supporting NATO and its allies' armed forces. In this video, we are going to see how to use the online maintenance tool. The online maintenance tool, or OMT, allows you to request an update on a NATO stock number or reference. Together, we will see how to request a reference modification or deletion, how to add a reference, how to request the modification of NSN information, how to request a decoded characteristic modification or deletion, how to request any other modification, as well as keep track of modification requests, and finally ask or answer any questions regarding the modification request. Before we start, please remember the following information. Any member of your team, whether a master administrator or not, may request a change in reference. However, you need to use your own credentials. The generic login will not give you access to the tool. Additionally, you can request modifications solely on your own references or related NSNs. For that reason, you need to actually have references listed on the NMCRL. Your references are linked to your organization through your NCAGE number. Therefore, you need your NCAGE code, and this NCAGE code must be attached to your NMCRL subscription. If this isn't the case, reach out to your master administrator or to the NMCRL help desk. All requests are initiated from your own references listed in NMCRL Web. So go ahead and access the NMCRL Web application. In order to access the reference you want to update, you might type the reference number directly in the search bar. This is the quickest way, especially if you have many references listed in NMCRL. Otherwise, you can use your NCAGE to list all of your references. Once you locate the reference you would like to update, click on it. You will arrive on the NSN details screen. You may request change on your own reference. You may modify a reference or delete a reference of yours. The selection of any of these buttons will lead you to the online maintenance tool. Let's say we want to edit this reference. Click on the pen button. You will land on the screen of Reference Modification Request. This is a form. It displays the information about the selected National Item Identification Number, your NCAGE, and your current reference number. In order to fill the form, start by choosing a priority. Should you choose an emergency modification, you will have to provide a justification. Next, provide the information about the request. Why should this reference be modified? Then, insert the new reference number. Finally, attach at least 1 and up to 3 files to support your request. As long as you're filling this form, you can click on Cancel to void the form, or on Save as Draft to save it as such. When you're ready to send it, simply click on Create at the top right corner of the screen. After you click on Create, it is being reviewed by a master administrator if you're not the master administrator. If you create a request as a master administrator, then you can no longer modify it, as it will be reviewed by the National Codification Bureau responsible for this reference. If you wish to delete a reference from the NSL details screen, click on the little bin next to your reference. You will be redirected to the OMT screen dedicated to the deletion form. Here, start by choosing a priority. Should you choose an emergency modification, you will have to provide a justification. Next, provide the information about the request. Why should this reference be deleted? Finally, attach at least 1 and up to 3 files to support your request. As long as you're filling this form, you can click on Cancel to void the form or on Save as Draft to save it as such. This action will send you to the maintenance request list. More detail on this screen later in the video. When you're ready to send it, simply click on Create at the top right corner of the screen. You might be interested into adding a new reference to an existing NSN that you already supply. This is possible from the NSL Details screen. Simply click on Add Reference. The process is very similar to a modification or a deletion request. Simply choose a priority. Should you choose an emergency modification, you will have to provide a justification. Next, provide the information about the request. Why should this reference be added? Ensure that this reference will be attached to the right N-cage of yours and control the associated N-cage status. Then, enter the new reference value. Finally, attach at least 1 and up to 3 files to support your request. Remember that as long as you're filling this form, you can click on Cancel to void the form or on Save as Draft to save it as such. When you're ready to send it, simply click on Create at the top right corner of the screen. It will then be reviewed either by a master administrator or by the National Codification Bureau responsible for this reference. You may also request an update on NSN-related information, specifically the item name and the supply class. From the NSN Details screen, click on Modify NSN Information. You will land on the screen of NSN Modification Requests. It displays the information about the selected National Item Identification Number, the NATO Supply Class, and the item name code. Start by choosing a priority. Should you choose an emergency modification, you will have to provide a justification. Next, provide the information about the request. Why should this reference be modified? Then, enter the NATO supply class and the item name code. Finally, attach at least 1 and up to 3 files to support your request. As long as you're filling this form, you can click on Cancel or Save as Draft to save it and edit at a later stage. When you're ready to send it, simply click on Create at the top right corner of the screen. It is possible to request the addition or suppression of a decoded characteristic as well. For this, click on the pen or the bin close to the characteristic that you wish to modify. You will land on the screen of Characteristics Modification Requests. Start by choosing a priority. Should you choose an emergency modification, you will have to provide a justification. Next, provide the information about the request. Why should this characteristic be modified? Then, enter the replacement text. Finally, attach at least 1 and up to 3 files to support your request. When you're ready to send it, simply click on Create at the top right corner of the screen. If you wish to modify anything that does not concern the item name code or the NATO supply class for the NSN, click on the pen icon and then Other from the NSN Details screen. On the Modification screen, simply pick the priority. Enter a justification for the change request. And finally, add your supporting files. Now that you know how to send a request, you might be interested in keeping track of them, which is what we're going to cover now. In order to keep track of your requests, you will need to access the maintenance request list. You may access it directly from the NCS app's homepage. Simply click on Online Maintenance Tool. Or, from the NMCRL Web, click on the Grid button and on Online Maintenance Tool. Here, you will see the list of all the requests you have sent in the past, including the ones you have just created. As a reminder, this screen displays the NATO item identification number, the type of request, the priority level, the date of its creation, the initiator of the request, its status, and its justification. You're able to use filters with each one of these elements on the upper part of the screen to look for specific requests. Your request might have various status depending if you are the master administrator of the subscription or not. As long as you save it as a draft, your request will be displayed as such. If it needs to be approved by a master administrator, then it will show as pending admin. The master administrator may reject it for modification, in which case it will appear as rejected admin. After the master admin approval, or when the master admin creates its own request, the status displayed is created. This means that it has been sent to the NCB for validation. The NCB can either reject it, and the associated status would be rejected NCB, or it may approve it, and in this case, it will show as accepted. If you're looking for a deleted request, select Deleted. Lastly, the status Error will guide you to the request that needs to be adjusted. Clicking on any of these requests will lead you to its content. As a private master administrator of a subscription, you have the possibility to accept or reject your colleague's maintenance request. By clicking on Accept, the request will go through and will be sent to the relevant NCB. Clicking on Reject will close the request and inform the requester. This request will then appear in the archives list. Speaking of the archives, you have access to it at all times from the OMT homepage. Simply click on Archives. Since the release of the new NMCRL Web, you now have the ability to ask questions or answer clarifying questions. Only after the request is created, you may access to its details. In the discussion part of the screen, you can click on Add Question. Type your question and click on the paper plane icon to send it. The master administrator and the request creator may add a question. This question will be visible to them and to the NCB who may reply. You will then have access to the whole conversation at all times. That covers the many ways to take control of your references in NMCRL Web through the online maintenance tool. Thank you for using the NMCRL and codification services. We will see you in the next videos.